So with it being the month of Halloween and I haven't really uploaded many videos, I thought this final week I could pretty much dedicate it to Halloween and upload pretty much videos of either me talking about something creepy or doing like a Wasori special or something. So I thought what better way to start it off than talk about a certain YouTube channel that's got a lot of people talking. That channel is called Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared. And they just released their latest video just about a week ago, and their fans have gone absolutely insane with theories after theories of what could possibly be going on in this series. And since everyone seems to like these crazy theories, I thought I'd make one myself. Having watched the 5 episodes and done lots and lots of research on this, I think I might finally have a conclusion, for me at least anyway. If you haven't seen Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared, I recommend you watch them first before watching this video. I'll give you a little bit of time to do that. Okay, right, you're back. Awesome. So far in each episode, it's been a different lesson. The first one was about creativity, but obviously that was not the case, as every time the puppets decided to actually do something creative, the notepad did not like it. Creates a picture of a clown, she destroys it. One of them chooses green as their favourite colour. She says that's not a creative colour. The next episode is about time and how you don't have much of it, so you might as well do what you want. But when the puppets actually do something that they want to do, the clock doesn't like that and tells them to follow him and tells them what they should be doing in their time that they have very little of. Even when they question time, the clock does not like that and decides to make a weird noise. In the third episode, it was about love, and about religion as well. A lot of people seem to argue that it's just about religion, but no, it's about love mainly. If you check on their iTunes, it says The Love Song. There was quite a few things in this one, to be honest. Again, it's telling you to think this certain way. In the fourth one, this time it's about computers, and I quite like this one because it starts off with a question. And it's easily a question you could search on Google, but you never get a definitive answer. You could search an actual question on Google, and you might never find the answer because there's so much. And when they actually ask, what is the biggest thing in the world, the computer keeps talking about how smart he is, without actually answering the question. This starts to change a little bit towards the end, as the red guy ends up having his head exploding. Bit of a weird ending. I know the other 3 have had some weird endings to them, but never one that's ended in death of the characters technically. And in the 5th one, this one appears to be about being healthy. I assume that's what it's about. Some people have said differently. I can't remember what the other thing they said, but that's what I'm gonna stick by at the moment, being healthy. If it actually is something different, you can correct me in the comments. That's what the comments are there for, to tell me how wrong I am. And in this one, they start to talk about all the healthy foods, but instead of actually telling you what is healthy and what's not, they just tell you to eat plain foods, plain boring foods, to keep, you know, all bland and boring, tasteless foods, while they are still healthy, I guess, but they're not tasteful. This actually kind of ends up with the chicken being eaten, with a little clever way of saying that food eats you from the inside. Now, in this particular one, it already starts out with the red guy missing. As if the last part you saw in episode 4 actually continues straight on to this 5th one. And in the end of this one, the bird seems to obviously get axed off this time. So ever since this 5th one came out, theories have actually gone absolutely insane in the comments. If you go to the 5th one now, I'm guaranteed the first 5 comments you'll see, 4 of them will be different theories. And some are quite plausible, some rather a bit extreme. So I'm gonna have a little look into this, and try and find a conclusion. So let's look at a couple of reoccurring things in this. First of all, we have a 4th character that actually appears in every one except for the first one, which is the yellow guy's father. In the first one, he is introduced to let everyone know who he is. And we assume his name is Roy, since he seems to have an R on his clothes, and at the end of the credits, it just says, "and Roy." Ever since then, he seems to appear in every single episode, somewhere in the darkness. In the third one, he's praising Malcolm with the rest of them. In the fourth one, he lurks in the corner, as the red guy seems to be on the computer. And in the fifth one, as the green guy knocks over the camera, you'll see him lurking over the set, looking down on them. Pretty creepy. And he's the only character that's not one of the three main ones that's been reoccurring in each episode ever since he appeared. Not only that, I'll point out the obvious one that everyone seems to know who's a Don't Hug Me I'm Scared fan, 19th of June. No one seems to know exactly what this day is, as it reoccurs in every episode. Every episode, it's the 19th of June. No one seems to know why this date is here, but it keeps reoccurring all the time. Except in episode 3, there's something slightly different. It is in the third episode, but on a missing poster. Missing since 19th of June. So these three characters have been missing since the 19th of June. But what year? A lot of people say they haven't been given the year yet, but in fact, we have been given the year. There is an episode that not everyone has watched, which is the Kickstarter video. And it's an old camera footage of all the characters kidnapped, tied to a chair, and they have been threatened to be killed off unless if they give them money for the Kickstarter. But if you look at the date in the bottom right hand corner, it says 1906-55. I'm assuming that that is 1955, meaning these puppets have been missing ever since then, I assume. But why choose that specific date? Well, I've had a look at some other theories, and this guy seemed to point out a pretty interesting theory. He basically went on to tell you that the father was actually the mastermind behind all this, and had actually kidnapped the puppets and killed them. Now they're kind of stuck in this fantasy world where they can't grow up, but yet one by one starts to realize that they are in this world and breaks free and finally gets in peace. Which is okay, but at the very end you seem to see the red guy walking away from the telephone box. Is that heaven? Is that what he's trying to say? I don't really think that's the case. But the one that did really get me is his theory for 1906. On 1906-1955 was Father's Day. Now, who is the character that is constantly showing ever since he aired in episode 2, and is the only character that has a name? Roy. Roy seems to be looking down and watching these guys all the time. Now, that could actually be a good answer. But why 1955? Well, this one, I think I do know. I searched up the TVs and how popular they were in the 50s. The 50s was actually the change in history for television. In 1953, The Queen's Coronation was aired, and lots of people kind of just watched it on their friend's TV, but they liked the TV so much that lots more people started buying it. Not only that, before 1955, TVs only had one channel, BBC. But then in 1955, they had ITV come in, so I think they've picked that year because that was the year lots of people started watching TV and having it in their homes. So what exactly is my theory on Don't Hug Me I'm Scared? Do I think that it's their father that's kidnapped them? Do I think that they've been in a terrible accident and they're in a coma right now and they're all waking up? No. I think it's a metaphor. I believe the puppets represent the different age groups of the children that watch these kids shows. Hence, why none of them have actual names. Ever since then, the children of these age groups have been brainwashed into thinking a certain way. And I think these characters represent the parts of the children's minds that allow them to think for themselves. And they're missing. And they have been missing ever since 1955. So what do I think is happening in episode 4 and 5? I think they're growing up. Our minds aren't as strong when we're younger, and can easily be distracted by the pretty colours and to not realise what exactly is going on. But as we get older, we come to the realization it doesn't really help us, and it's mainly just a bunch of colours to distract us. I do believe I'll stick with my theory, although I just feel the Roy's character is a much bigger part and there is something I'm missing. So that was my theory on Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared. If you guys have any theories of your own, feel free to share them in the comments. I love reading some of these theories that people have. Stay safe, and have a happy Halloween.